So this is a continuation of lecture number 19's notes for section 6.4. This is example number 3. And as you can see, we are going to have to take a cut and solve for the reaction forces, because it is asking me for G of F, C of F, and C of D. C and D. So I'm going to take this cut here where it's shown at A, because that goes through all of my parts. So I'm going to do it at A. I'm going to have to find the reaction forces whether I do it on the left or I do it on the right. So I'm going to solve for my reaction forces now. So I've got my free body diagram shown of the entire truss. I'm going to analyze the entire truss so I can find the support reactions. So if I'm looking at my support reactions, A is a pin. So I'm going to have a vertical component at A and a horizontal component at A. I've got a 5 kilonewton force here in the middle. And then I've got a 3 kilonewton force here. And then I've got a rocker at E. So at E, I'm going to put, it has to be straight up because it has to be perpendicular to the surface. So those are all my forces that I have for the truss as a whole. So I'm going to solve for E of Y. It really doesn't matter this time, but I'm going to take the right-hand side. So I'm going to solve for E of Y. And that way I'll take the moments at A and I don't have to worry about what the answers are at A. So for A, so for the entire thing, I'm going to say counterclockwise is positive. I'm going to sum the moments about point A. They equal 0 because we're in equilibrium. So I've got the 5 kilonewtons, which is negative because it's going clockwise. 5 times 8. The 3 is also negative, and it is times 12. And then I've got E of Y is positive, and it is 16 meters away. So that is going to give me that E of Y equals 4.75 kilonewtons. And our assumption was correct. It is going up. So that's all I need to be able to do the right side of my truss. So I'm going to draw the right side. You can see down here I've already drawn what it looks like on the right side when I cut it off. So we just need to add our forces. So the forces that we have a vertical component at E, which is 4.75 kilonewtons. I've also got a force here. I'm going to label that is E. I've got a force here at D of 3 kilonewtons. And then I've got these 3 unknown forces. So I've got FCD going horizontal. Remember, we're assuming their intention. So we're going to assume that they're away from the joint, the force is away from the joint. So I'm going to have this one here, which is FCF. And I can find by geometry, I can find this similar triangle, and it is 4 on one side, 4 on the other side, which means that the hypotenuse is going to be the square root of 32. And similarly, I have a force up here, which is FGF, and I have similarly a triangle here. This one is 2 on one side, 4 on one side. And so the hypotenuse is going to be the square root of 20. All right, so now we need to look at which force we can solve for the easiest. So it looks to me, I didn't label this point here, but I should have. This point is F. It looks to me if I take the moment about point F, then I get rid of 2 unknowns and I can solve for FCD. So let's do that first. So let's say counterclockwise is positive. We're going to sum the moments about point F. And I'm going to have the 4.75 kilonewton force going positive, and it's 4 meters away. And then the only other force I've got, the 3 kilonewton force goes through F. Its line of action goes through F. So the only other one I've got is FCD, which is negative. Times 4. And so if I solve that, I get that FCD equals 4.75 kilonewtons. And it is positive, so it is in tension. All right, now I've got 2 forces, so I'm going to have to use substitution or some method of solving simultaneous equations in order to calculate these 2 forces, because there's nothing I can really do that won't get rid of only one of them, because they both have x and y components. So I'm just going to start out with the forces. I'm going to sum the forces in the y direction. But it doesn't really matter. We could do the x direction. So we're going to have, in the y direction, we've got 4.75, got negative 3. Then we've got the positive component of FGF times 2 over the square root of 20. And then we've got, going downward, so negative FCF times 4 over the square root of 32 equals 0. So if I solve that, I get 1.75 minus 0.7071 FGF and plus, whoops, that's wrong. Oh, that's FCF. And 0.4472 for FGF equals 0. So if I solve for FGF, just to get it by itself so I can substitute it, I'm going to get FGF equals negative 3.9131 plus 1.5812 FCF. All right. Now I'm going to do the sum of the forces in the x direction. So I'm going to, so right is positive, sum of the forces in the x direction equals 0, and in the x direction I've got FCD in the negative direction, so it's negative 4.75. Then I've got FCF in the negative direction, and that is times 4 over the square root of 32. And then I've got the x component of FGF, which is in the negative direction also. And that component would be 4 over the square root of 20 equals 0. So I'm going to work that all out. I'm going to substitute in my FGF with the component of FCF. I can write all that down. That's a lot of writing. So I'm just going to go to the end. And so it's going to look like when I plug FGF in here, so I only have FCF. My answer is going to be that FCF equals negative 0.5892 kilonewtons. And when I substitute that back into the previous equation, I'm going to get that FGF equals negative 4.845 kilonewton. All right, I'm going to go on and show how I got FCF, but if you're good for this video, you can go ahead and stop here. So if I continue this equation down here, if I was to do all the math out, I would get negative 4.75 minus 0.7071 FCF minus, and then I'm going to substitute in for FGF, which is negative 3.9131 plus 1.5812 C of F. FC of F. FC of F. And I've got to multiply that by 4 over the square root of 20 equals 0. So when I multiply that 4 over the square root of 20 out, I'm going to get negative 4.75 minus 0.7071 FCF plus, negative turns it into a positive, 3.5 minus 1.4143 FC of F equals 0. So if I solve that all out and get C of F on one side and the numbers on the other side, I get that negative 2.12137 FC of F equals 1.25, which when I solve, that's where I get this number up here. Then I substituted back in to our FGF equation up here, and that gave me my answer. So now remember, you got to write out your answers. So in formal answers, I should show FCD equals 4.75 kilonewtons, and it was positive, so it's in tension. FCF equals 0.59 kilonewtons in compression, and FGF equals 4.85 kilonewtons in compression. Done.